Good day, fellas. I hope you're ready for your daily dose of skill. Great news. Bond store got upgraded. We have a new addition in the Bond store, and those are 6 tanks: Tiger Mouse, LIS IS-2, M4, and Turán. But first things first, where is the Bond store and how you are accessing it? You are clicking on the store, you are clicking on the Bond items, which is the last option right there. And then you have access to the Bond store. The most important thing what we need to highlight is the tier 10 tanks that you can get here is not premium tanks, right? They're special vehicles or reward vehicles, if you will. That pretty much means you are not making credits with them, right? And I believe the most important topic or the most important thing is to quickly talk about the tanks which are just added. So without further ado, let's start our journey. And Tiger Mouse is like a German super heavy. The most important thing is to stay hold down or to hide the lower plate if possible and just simply side scrap. Fun fact that this vehicle has stronger turret than the Mouse and the gun handling is pretty fine as well. Plus you are packing 530 alpha damage, which is fine. For heavy tank lover or for a super heavy tank lover, this tank is great. Although I want to highlight that E75 is better in my opinion. After that we have pretty much perfect sniper schnitzels Su 130 PM. If you love playing safely, if you love playing somewhere in the bush and slap enemies, this is the tank definitely for you. There is nothing to complain about, in my opinion, one of the better sniper schnitzel tanks over there, right? And please keep this in mind that you can always check out the information in the index page, especially for the tanks that haven't been changed lately and we are working on upgrading the things. So speaking about the Su 130 PM, if you are typing 130 in the search bar, right, you are seeing how the tank is rated. You are seeing overall the my rating, you are seeing the community rating overall, you are seeing the evaluation, you are seeing equipment, the crew on the tank, and many other things. So this could be a very good highlight overall, right? If you are into that and if you want to know more information. But overall the tank is great, definitely recommend. Now LIS, even though LIS is a good tank, right, there is one problem with the LIS. You need to spam the gold because the ammunition between standard and gold just by shell velocity is a massive difference. So this tank needs to be played with a gold ammunition. Since it's a premium tank and you need to play with a gold, the credit margins are not so crazy, if you will, right? That is important thing to highlight. After that, but overall the tank is obviously great. After that we have IS-2, and this is the moment whenever I want to stop for a second and to explain the things overall. Whenever we are talking about the Bond store and if we are talking about the credit making, the tier 9 tanks and the tier 8 tanks is the way to go. In order to take the lower tier tank, it needs to be excellent because it won't make as many credits as the tier 8 or tier 9 would. That being said, IS-2 is okay, but I would never recommend to take it. M4 Alpha 1, it has an autoloader, it's big target, no armor. I would not recommend to take it because it's just simply not worth it. And Turán is absolutely pile of kaku. You don't want to even look at it. And to waste bonds on the tier 5 is just simply not the best idea. That being said, whenever we refresh at our information with the new tanks, let's go through the old tanks quickly and let's talk. I will try to be as quick as I physically and possibly can. So without further ado, let's start our journey. M60 is American medium tank. I will want to highlight, not a premium one. In my opinion, it's pretty much less armored Patton with a better gun and faster, right? So overall, very powerful tank, and it is a good vehicle for players who knows what they are doing. In other words, maybe you can even call it a different version of the Leopard 1. 121B, great tank. Many players would prefer 121B over M60, at least in my opinion. And overall, the biggest highlight is a bit of the armor and the 350 heat penetration, and gun is also okay, so there is nothing to worry about. It is okay tank, but once again, doesn't make credits. FV, for most of the players, it's absolute pile of kaku. Only one selling point is the gun, and this is bloody tier 10 heavy, so whenever you have gun and you have nothing else, that's a problem. Although some extremely good players who loves this tank would disagree with me, and that's okay. Meanwhile, 113 Bo, there is no reason to get this tank whenever 113 is existing. You can get 113 from the collector vehicles in the game, so just simply ignore this tank, at least in my opinion. Object 268/5, it is like to the certain extent you can compare this tank with E4 with less armor, right? So it's okay, 750 alpha damage, you have a turret, everything is fine, but all in all, it is far away from being the best tank in the world of tanks. You know, it's somewhere around the average category. Yeah, you can slap someone for this amount of the damage, but whenever you are playing hold down with this vehicle, it can be a big issue, because look into this cupola, right? It is very difficult to play with it. Although, once again, some players love big alpha damage, so they may enjoy it. Foch 155, straight up meme. It has pretty disgusting gun, but you have 750 alpha damage and 3 in the magazine. Some people love it, some people hate it. In my opinion, it's meme. Same goes for FV, the tank that is able to one-shot, but usually you are taking one for the team yourself and you are crying in the corner, at least in my opinion. Right now we are moving on to VZ114. VZ114 got buffed lately. It got better gun handling, it got better aim time, and it is definitely better tank than it was before. We are going to have a dedicated video for this vehicle, but once again, it's too early for me to say is it awesome or it's not. I can tell you in the past, this tank used to be absolutely disgusting pile of kaku, right? Talking about the light tanks, M4190 GF is the light tank with which it's quite difficult to spot, but it's kind of good to make damage. You have a good DPM, you have 240 alpha damage, you have extremely good high explosives, so this tank is targeting kind of a damage maker, if I can say so, instead of spotter. Even though you can spot, but let's get real, ELC even will slap you all the time, so keep this in mind. Overall, not bad tank, but you need to know how to play with it. Senlac is somewhere in between, because Senlac is that type of vehicle that is able to spot better than the Black Dog is, but the damage outcome is kind of worse, if I can say so. Lower alpha damage 180 and high explosives are also weaker, 280 instead of 320 if I recall it properly. It's okay light tank, probably even better light tank for players who wants to spot more, right? Now we have Chinese Bulldog. Chinese Bulldog is the tank that has extremely good gun handling, but unfortunately it is bulky light tank. Big light tank, that means it's very, very difficult to make this vehicle work, and it's very hard to spot with it, but once again, you can just auto aim and pew 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 slap the living crap out of the enemies in this way, right? Overall, probably I would not recommend to take this tank, especially for a newer player. Mutz got buffed lately. Pay attention at this beauty. Forward speed better, more horses, and better alpha damage. I played one game yesterday with this tank. It felt way better than it was before. So if the tank was rated before sub-average, now it is probably somewhere in 3.5 park. But we will make a video with it. I can promise you that you are going to see how it is looking like very soon on the extra channel, right? Moving on, next guard, in my opinion, it's kind of underrated tank. Because the tank can spot, it can play quite aggressively if you can play without gun depression against the lower tiers, and in the same time it can snipe as well. Good combination of the things, and overall I think it is kind of underrated vehicle. Patton KR, outdated pile of kaku, don't even look at it. Even though I like the tank, it's just simply outdated. Same goes for Chieftain T95, outdated pile of kaku, don't even look at it. It is just not the tank that you want to play with. I can guarantee you that. Lorraine 40T, the tank which is created for extremely skilled players, and pretty much the whole idea and the whole plan with this tank is to find the lonely target or just be support vehicle, to stay near your forces whenever enemies are shooting, you are peeking and pew 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 pew. In other words, not to pay too much, not to get too much attraction or attention to yourself. Very difficult tank to play with, especially in the current meta. T34-3, pretty good vehicle. You can play hull down with it. You have big alpha damage. Some people would complain about the gun handling, but for this alpha damage it is actually okay. Although you need to shoot hits quite often, so this can be disappointing for some players. On the other hand, 122 TM has way worse DPM, better armor, but accuracy of this gun is pretty much godlike, if I can say so. So it is very, very, very solid one. It is very solid one. I would recommend to take it even for beginners, right? Just because of how good the gun is. Strv 81, it's pretty much the same Centurion one from the Tech 3. Most of the people will hate it, but I think it is just sub-average tank. Definitely better than Patton KR or the Chieftain. Now we are moving to the heavy vehicles. IS-6, believe me or not, I think it is absolutely outdated stinker, unfortunately. Armor doesn't really hold that well in the current meta. There is way more powerful tanks, and if you want something in a way idiot-proof, look no further than Defender. Defender, better armor, tiny touch, less accurate gun, but you have more alpha damage, so it just simply feels better in my opinion, right? And this is definitely beginner go-to tank, for sure. Now we have KV5. KV5 is, in my opinion, it's a bad meme. People love the KV5 for one particular reason, and that reason is that they can make pressure and they can ram someone. But truth to be told, those boobas up front is just simply disgusting. What do I mean by saying this? Let's take some time and let's see how it looks like. Pay attention, fellas. This is the armor of the KV5. You have two very easily penetratable boobas or cupolas or something. It's just, and this is with low penetration. If we are talking about average penetration in the tier 8, it's like 225. This is average. So it's fun to ram someone, but overall, I think it is just simply outdated as a vehicle, honestly. Although it can be fun to make pressure, and if enemies won't penetrate you, you can ram them. IS-5, I lately played with this tank quite a bit. At first, I thought the tank is absolutely amazing when it got buffed, but it still has some weaknesses. So it's kind of average tank. I would never choose IS-5 over 252U. It's just average, if I can say so. KV4 Kreslavskiy. Now, this is the tank with which you can snipe from the back whenever you have bad matchmaking, and you kind of can make pressure with it. Pretty much the tank is created for side scrapping, if you will. The armor of this vehicle is looking like so. So this is a perfect situation. You imagine that there is a wall over there, so you are not showing your cupola or something, and you are just simply able to slap the living crap out of the enemies, right? You see what I'm talking about? That is the best bit and the best part of all of this. Overall, I believe we would not make a mistake by calling the tank kind of average just because there is a better tanks in the game. Yoch, same situation goes for Yoch. You have good armor, but cupola is kind of ruining the situation for you. What do I mean by saying this is pay attention at this humongous cupola which everyone can penetrate. Yeah, it's very difficult. Rene is just simply better tank, so I would not really look into this like that to, you know, just simply get this tank and think that you are unpenetratable. And the gun can be kind of derpy. It wouldn't be my favorite choice or what I would recommend to take. On the other hand, Chrysler GF is pretty beautiful tank, and what you can do side scrapping with it, and you want to play against the lower tiers. If you play against the tier 7s, you are powerful. If you play against the tier 8s, they will load gold. It's already question mark. If you play against the tier 9s, yeah, the situation is kind of sad. Plus, on top of that, you need to spam the gold ammunition. Moving on next, Patriot. This is unpopular opinion from my side. Even though the tank is good credit farmer, it has very low alpha damage, and I think it is kind of outdated as a vehicle. At least that's what I think. In other words, I would highly recommend to take the Liberté instead. I think it is just significantly better choice than this vehicle. The strengths: ability to play hold down, good rate of fire, the weakness is low alpha damage, and this is kind of a killer of the tank. Liberté, great tank for beginners. All you need to understand, you don't want to side scrap, but you want to bait people peeking in front with your vehicle, right? The gun handling is okay, but nothing to write books about, but overall the tank isn't horrible. Now, Alpine Tiger, fellas. This tank got buffs lately, so I must admit I am not very familiar with this at this point in time, but it is faster, it has better DPM, it is more accurate, and it aims faster. So the tank may be a bit better than it was before, and before I rated this vehicle 2.5 stars, so maybe it is somewhere in the average category at this point in time, or at least that's what I want to believe. Trash 103, there is group of people that actually likes the Trash 103 just because of the big punch, but to make it work, it is quite difficult. The armor, you have armor on the turret until the certain level, until 250 millimeters, I think, of the penetration. After that, your armor is gone and everyone is shredding you through the face. Very weird tank. Some people love it, some people hate it. If you want tank destroyer, take Su and don't even think about it. Now, lower tier tanks are overall, most of them are not worth it, just because it's just not good way to grind credits in World of Tanks to take the lower tiers, okay? But in the nutshell, Type 62 is okay, T26E5 Echo 3 outdated, IS-2S is okay, IS-2 is okay, Panzer outdated, M4 is okay, but once again, I would not buy it, Tiger is okay, I would not buy it, TOG, laughable, you know, you are gifting the TOG for the person that you do not like, Su-100i is okay, for people who likes big alpha damage, but the platform itself, it's very hard tank to play with. Panzer IV Hydrostide, garbage. Turán, garbage. T34, garbage. M10 is one of the best tier 5s, but once again, do you really want to spend your hardly earned bonds on this? I don't really think so. So, hopefully, fellas, this video was useful for you. Hopefully you got a lot of information, and hopefully it will make you to make an educated decision. And please keep this in mind. You can always check out the tank ratings in the index page, and we are working very, very, very hard to deal with the stuff. Also, if you watch till the end, I have a good news for you. We are going to have the guide for a campaign missions very, very soon. After one day, we managed to get Windhunt. It took longer than I expected, but we are done. And soon you will get the recommendations in the index page for that as well. So hopefully you will take advantage out of it. That being said, love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very, very soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.